Hey, it's Pete, and welcome back to Question Christ. And today I want to continue a discussion I'm having with a gentleman that would like to be named John. It's his middle name. It's the one he wants to go by, and because his handle name on here is a little much for me to pronounce over and over again. So John is much easier for me, and I appreciate it, John, that you let me call you that. Um, we've been having a discussion about Matthew at chapter 8, verses 5 through 13. And I'll put up the link to his video. I'll try to give you a quick synopsis. I had made a video, well, John had made a video explaining that he believes Jesus, in his own words, is only talking about Jews and coming to save the nation of Israel, and not to save anybody else. Now, all the Gentile talk in Christianity came from a lot of Paul's epistles and from people other than Jesus's words. So I was bringing up points where I thought that that wasn't the case and proved otherwise. One of those was Matthew chapter 8, verses 5 through 13. And it's about the faith of the centurion. You can check out the videos. We're having back and forth. And I want to say, John, I really was very interested in what you came up with. Some excellent points. And for those of you who haven't been, who don't know, please watch the videos because I can't. It'd take me my whole video to explain it again. But basically, John, if I get you right, you're saying that the centurion was coming to get his servant healed. And back in the day, a servant most likely would be a Jew for a Roman centurion, which was a quite insightful point of view, I think, to have. However, I think if you really read the passage, it's clear that Jesus is responding to the faith that he sees through the centurion. And let's go through that. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. Lord, he said, my servant lies at home, paralyzed and in terrible suffering. Jesus said to him, I will go and heal him. Now, if at that point that was it, I would see your point, saying, well, maybe Jesus in his all-knowing ways knows that this servant is a Jew and he's going to go help one of his people. However, it goes on, and this is where I think you see the faith of the centurion. The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he does, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. So here's this Roman centurion who's, from what I gather, from what I understand of the history of that time, Romans obviously were seen as higher up than most Jews. So you got this Jewish carpenter, you got this Roman soldier. Now the Roman soldier has a servant, okay, so he's doing somewhat okay, and he obviously to talk to Jesus this way, to be so humble as to say to this Jewish carpenter guy, hey, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof. That is, and just say the word, my servant will be healed. That he believes so much in this pretty much Jewish peasant that, I mean, it's really quite amazing. And that is what Jesus is responding to as you go on in verse 10. When Jesus heard this, when he heard the centurion, he was astonished and said to those following him, I tell you the truth, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. So here he is standing around people. He hears the centurion say this, and he stops it and basically says, hold the presses, everybody. Wow, I have not heard such faith out of people from Israel. So he's responding directly to that phrase that the centurion did. So I think the idea of the servant being a Jew, that he would be just saving his own, is is interesting, but I think the idea, I think it's a bigger stretch to come up with that than exactly what it's saying and implying right there. Because Jesus very clearly in many other passages definitely makes distinctions between people. He loves to point out, um, like for example, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He loves to say, "Yeah, you guys think you got it going on, but you don't," and he loves to point those things out. So, in this situation, I would think he would be, if that was the case, he'd say, I am going to heal your servant for his faith. I can see, or whatever that was. He'd be clear in that. So I think this. I think again, if he'd stopped with, "Hey Lord, my servant lies at home paralyzed and in terrible suffering," and Jesus said, "I'll go and heal him," and that was the end of it, that'd be one thing. But then the centurion goes on and on. "I do not deserve you to have under my roof. I know you can heal this man." And then Jesus saying, when he heard this, he was astonished. "I tell you the truth, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith." So I think your idea is very interesting, but I just don't think. Um, I think it's much more of a stretch than what the passage actually says. So, love to hear what you have to say about that. And again, I thank you for all the new subscribers who are coming in. Please, we're having this conversation, but we're obviously keeping it open to comments. And I would love to hear anyone's comments about these videos. But it's the ball's back in your court, John, and I look forward to hearing from you. And thanks for a very interesting insight into that passage. And we can start with the Canaanite woman next, if you'd like. For those who are following this, the Canaanite woman passage that I had brought up is at Matthew 15 verses 21 through 28. We'll start that in another video. I leave it up to you, John, how you'd like to continue. And I thank you for your time. Also, to other subscribers, I will be doing other videos that aren't just directly linked into John and I's conversation, but I think people can get stuff out of that as well. And I appreciate your time, and thanks for checking out our channel. Peace.